All right, staying with our top story now, just in the CBS News, we now have the disciplinary action that will be imposed on the New England Patriots and the quarterback Tom Brady for their Deflategate matter. We now know that the NFL has suspended Tom Brady for 4 games in the 2015 regular season. Meanwhile, the NFL has fined the Patriots $1 million, and the team will have to forfeit its first-round draft selection in 2016 and its fourth-round selection in the 2017 draft. We want to go to Alvin Patrick, our CBS producer, works with James Brown. He's been working his sources over at the NFL. Alvin, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, Vlad. How are you?
How are you doing? So let's get into this. I mean, we just spoke to Gary Myers, the columnist over at the Daily News. He thinks that this is an excessive disciplinary action. What are people in the NFL saying?
Well, I can't say exactly what the people in the NFL are saying, except to say that they used past punishment as a guide, meaning this is an integrity of the game issue, is what they said. And the bottom line is that there's a precedent set for this already. It was set in March with the Falcons case, where there was an employee that was pumping fake sound into the PA system, and then with the Browns, where their general manager, Ray Farmer, was suspended 4 games because he was texting personnel on the sideline. So this is in keeping, is what the NFL is saying, with the precedent that has been set when it comes to integrity of the game issues. And those, both of those punishments carried suspensions as well as a fine, and then in the case of the Falcons, the loss of a draft pick. Now, that being said, those suspensions or those fines were 6-figure suspensions. This is a 7-figure one, and the loss of the draft pick was a 5th-round draft pick for the Falcons, whereas it's a 1st and 4th-round draft pick in successive drafts, the 2016 and the 2017 drafts, which are upcoming. And 4 games, that 4 game suspension that Tom Brady has been levied on him is exactly the same amount that was levied on the general manager of the Browns, Ray Farmer, for his indiscretion. So it definitely seems in keeping with the NFL policy, but certainly a lot more than those 2 teams got.
And Alvin, do you expect Tom to appeal this?
You know, I don't want to speculate. I will only say that the Patriots are a team that, when it comes to discipline that is handed down to them, that seems to go along with whatever discipline will be handed down to them. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Kraft did put out a statement saying that they were prepared to deal with whatever discipline came down. Now, you know, I'm not quite sure whether they were aware of how extensive this would be, but it's very, very difficult to say whether they're going to appeal it in any sort of way, and even whether Tom Brady is going to appeal it in any sort of way. We really have to wait and see.
Alvin, I know we said we don't want to speculate, but I'm just curious in terms of when players, we were just talking to Gary Myers, and he mentioned that players appeal these decisions by the NFL all the time. So what is the calculus that goes in when a player decides to appeal disciplinary action to the league? I mean, you know, to many people's minds, it would just be, you know, take this punishment, sit out the games, let everybody forget about it. But is he thinking that perhaps if he can appeal this decision, that perhaps he'll maybe only be suspended for 2 games, and how will that play out with the audience, with the general population?
Well, Vlad, I mean, every player is represented by the NFLPA, which is a union, and a very strong one at that. So there are rules and there are processes that goes along with this. So most players will see the process through, and yes, hopefully see if they can lessen their suspension or their fine, so that they can get back on the field quicker. So if Tom Brady chooses to go that route, it's just all part of the process. Now, as far as the court of public opinion, that's a whole different story. Does does taking the full 4 games mean that you're admitting guilt, or does not appealing, mean that you're also admitting guilt? So you never know. It could really go either way. It's a very tough call, but most players go to the NFLPA and then go through the process of appealing.
We want to play, Alvin, stand by. We want to play some sound of Tom Brady speaking about Deflategate just a few nights ago. Let's take a listen.
What is your reaction, Tom, to the Ted Wells report?
See, I can't usually say those things. But I don't have really any reaction, Jim. Our owner commented on it yesterday, and it's only been 30 hours, so I haven't had much time to digest it fully, but when I do, I'll be sure to let you know how I feel about it. And everybody else.
Are you that slow a reader?
Well, my athletic career has been better than my academic career, so usually I'm used to reading X's and O's. This was a little bit longer.
When do you plan to address this publicly?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. There's still a process that's going forth right now, and I'm involved in that process. So whenever it happens, and I'll certainly want to be very comfortable in how I feel about the statements that I make.
So, Alvin, I'm sure where everybody who covers sports is going to be waiting for Tom Brady to make some sort of a statement in regards to this disciplinary action. But I want to talk, Alvin, as football fans. Let's just do a thing, because I've been asking all sorts of sports reporters from the fan standpoint if a decision like this against Tom Brady will taint his legacy. And I've been using some of the greats in the game, the great quarterbacks in the game, Terry Bradshaw, Roger Staubach, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, these guys that are in Canton that have had tremendous careers. Tom Brady is up there with them in terms of what he's been able to deliver on the field. But how do you think that this, even if as a lot of people have said, this Deflategate, this ball probably didn't contribute at all to the Patriots' win of the Colts in that AFC game, but how do you think this will play out in terms of perception as to whether he ranks up there with some of those guys?
Well, let's just say this. The Patriots are one of those teams, not unlike the Yankees, not unlike the Cowboys, not unlike the Celtics in basketball, where you either love them or you hate them. And so, I would say that Tom Brady has accomplished so much in the game of football that his legacy certainly will not be significantly damaged by this, but there'll always be the non-fans who will point to this incident, and of course also point to the other incident that the Patriots had, concerning videotaping practices and things of that sort. But Tom Brady's legacy, I think, is well intact when it comes to the things that he's accomplished on the field, and Canton is not going to close the gates, that's for sure.
You mentioned that Tom Brady's legacy is intact. What about the legacy of the NFL right now, moving through these different scandals and now placing these harsh punishments on the Patriots for this scandal? Where's the legacy of the NFL standing in this?
Well, I hate to be bottom line, but the NFL, makes a tremendous amount of money because they are the most popular sports league in America, and there have been scandals like this before, and this is no different than many that have happened in the past, and the game has continued to grow, and the game has continued to be popular, including things much more serious like this, as you guys know, with the concussions and the concussion settlement and things of that sort. But the bottom line is that a significant amount of people like to see the brand of football that is the NFL. It's fast, it's competitive, it's hard hitting, and I really don't think that that the hardcore fan is going to stray away or or not tune in. And I'm sure we'll see when the Super Bowl comes up next year that there'll be just as many people watching as there were this year and the year before that.
I think you're probably right about that.
Do you think that the Patriots could still have a shot in the Super Bowl next year?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're coming off a championship year, and they have proven year in, year out to always stay competitive. And look, there's no doubt that 4 games is significant. It's 25% of the season that you would be without your superstar quarterback. But teams recover, and one of the things about the Patriots is that they're always a competitive team, no matter what injuries or suspensions or anything happens to them. So.
Yeah, Alvin, we just put up a tweet up there from LeGarrette Blount, and there it is. This is absolutely ridiculous. Shaking my head with a little angry emoji. Hashtag Pats Nation, stand up.
Pats Nation.
And it's already got 2,200 retweets. So, I think you're right about that. One quick question, Alvin, about Bill Belichick. I mean, certainly Tom Brady. There are people. I mean, Brady probably has more fans than not, right? I mean, he's a good guy. Most people have said he's a good guy. He's a great quarterback. But Belichick, I think the line is a little bit more divided there. Whether or not, I don't think it has anything to do with the love of the game, but whether or not you think Bill Belichick is a great coach, which many people do. But people, when you have 2 incidences like this that happen under your watch, is his legacy in jeopardy?
I hate to sound like a broken record,
right, but
one
of the greatest coaches in NFL history.
No, exactly. And you know what? The things that matter in professional sports are winning, and the Patriots and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady have proven that they win, and they win at a consistent rate. And winning turns into great fandom, and great fandom turns into a lot of revenue. And the Patriots are one of those teams that consistently does that. So, that's really all I can say about that.
All right, Alvin, before we let you go, let me ask you this last question. Did Goodell get this right?
Well, I always hate to speculate, but all I can say is that the NFL feels that it is consistent with the kind of punishments that they've handed out before, and if everyone or if most people think that they got the Falcons situation correct and that they got the Browns situation correct, it's clear that they consider this much more serious, and I think that they consider it much more serious as you look into Troy Vincent's letter, because it was an AFC championship game, and because it may or may not have affected an AFC championship game, which then propelled them to the Super Bowl. I think you can see that the amount of the fine, and more than one draft pick, and then 4 games for a player who, let's not forget, according to the Wells report, it's more probable than not that he knew about it, and so that's not exactly that's saying there's a 51% chance that he knew more, so, that he may or may not have known. So I think it's clear that they're taking this seriously, because it's all about what they consider the integrity of the game. And so I would say that that it's consistent. Not my job to say whether something's right or wrong or appropriate. I think there's way too much of that, to be honest, in sports today. A lot of speculation ends up sometimes influencing how institutions act. And I think we saw that in the Ray Rice case, and I think we saw that in the Adrian Peterson case as well. The court of public opinion has also become the opinion of sports networks and websites that sort of drive some things that may or may not be so good.
CBS News producer Alvin Patrick breaking it down for us. Thank you so much, Alvin. We appreciate it.
Thanks. Take care, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
This is CBS News. We are following this story for you. We're hoping, as you just heard, we played a little bit of sound from Tom Brady speaking about this earlier, a couple of nights ago. I guess now the world will be waiting to hear what his reaction is to this disciplinary action taken by the NFL. 4-game suspension in 2015 for Tom Brady. $1 million to the Patriots, fined, loss of their first-round 2016 draft pick and their fourth-round 2017.